All right, so thank you so much for sitting down with me. I just have one question to start out. Can you just tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Delaney O'Connell. I'm a 21-year-old anthropology major at Chico State. I also row crew at Chico and was a Chico State cheerleader for a number of years. I grew up playing all the sports. I was a competitive cheerleader for 10 years. I played volleyball, basketball, soccer, you name it, I've tried it. And I also compete for scholarships in the Miss America organization.
So, throughout your days of life, especially during college, how have you seen body dysmorphia affect people?
How have I seen body dysmorphia affect
Or on more of a societal level?
people?
So, maybe you see on social media or on the news or anything like that. It doesn't have to be a local Chico State level.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I, especially as a female or as a woman, I've seen body dysmorphia affect a lot of my close friends, a lot of my teammates, and it's really upsetting to see them look in the mirror and not recognize, not be able to associate themselves with the body that they're in, and not recognize their body and the perfections, the imperfections, anything about their body. Look in the mirror and see something completely different back.
Would you say, or at least would you, if you ever thought about this at least,
Mm-hmm.
or you could just think about it out of the spot, what would be a primary cause of this current societal issue? Because I think we can all agree that it is probably worse than ever has been.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is a cause for this?
I definitely think social media is a huge influence on body dysmorphia. I think it's really easy to post a picture with all sorts of filters on it and not disclose that you've been photoshopped, edited, that your waist really isn't that small. And I think young people who are younger and younger are starting to have more access to social media, and so we're starting to expose younger kids to these sorts of things, and they really aren't trained to differentiate an edited body and a real body.
So, on a lighter note, I know you're a avid rower. So, what made you fall in love with the sport?
I really love how competitive rowing is. That's one of the first things that drew me into it. I think the competitiveness of most sports is what's drawn me into athletics, but I really like the dedication and determination that's required to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and go row 3 miles and then come back to school and go to class.
So, since you told me that you compete in Miss America competitions, what are some of the misconceptions people have about these competitions?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions about the Miss America organization as a whole is that it's a beauty pageant. It's not, it's a scholarship competition. It used to be a swimsuit competition and sort of evolved from there to a point where we've completely eliminated swimsuit, which is amazing because now it's young women who want to go through this professional and educational development program and don't want to be given a number up on stage because of how their body looks. Um, and I think another misconception, not necessarily a misconception, but I think a lot of people confuse it with things like Miss Universe and other beauty pageants. There is no swimsuit competition. Women are not judged based on the size of their waist or the size of their bust. They're judged on the content of their character, which is something that I really love.
Thank you. And what made you want to start competing in these?
When I was 16 years old, I met Miss Sierra Nevada, who was a local title holder for the Miss California organization. And I remember my entire cheer team met her, and we were really impressed by her grace and her poise and her intelligence. She was very eloquent when she spoke to us, and she shared with us what the Miss America organization meant to her. And to her, it meant an opportunity for community service. She was really dedicated to community service, and that kind of came through in the organization for her. And I was just always really impacted by that meeting. I really liked how dedicated she was to serving her community, and I just thought she was an upstanding example of what a woman should be. And when I realized that that was an opportunity that I could have and that that was available to me, I started competing.
So, on a not as light slash fun notes, if body dysmorphia and, like you said, social media continues to persist, which will always persist but continues to get worse, what would your biggest worry for the future of like the younger generation be? they
My biggest worry is that they would be unhappy, is that the younger generation would never be content with themselves, would never be okay with their bodies. And I would be worried that they would base too much of their self-worth and self-value on their physicality and not on other aspects of themselves, on what a good person they are or other parts of their personality.
So, for my final question, as a society, how do you think we could work together to help those who suffer from this condition?
As a society, on the social media side, I think we've started doing a better job. We're starting to disclose when photos are edited, when people aren't being represented in a realistic sense. But I think that we all sort of need to crack down, especially on what our young kids are exposed to, and make sure that we're having honest conversations with each other about what real bodies look like, and that it's okay not to be completely happy with the way that you look, but that doesn't determine your self-worth or your self-value.
All right, so that's all I have for you for today. And thank you so much, Delaney, for sitting down with me.
Thank you.